Habang sigurado ng numero 1 etong Petron Blaze Boosters bago pa man ang kanilang huling laro dito sa elimination round, malayo pa naman daw sa pagtatapos ang kanilang misyon dito sa Governor's Cup. Lalong-lalo na ngayong gabi, makakatapat nila isang pamilyar na muka. Jay Washington and the rest of GlobalPort will be taking on the league leaders in Petron. Ito na po ang pagpapatuloy ng inyong PBA Super Bowl Sunday live dito sa IBC. Can anybody stop Petron? Yan po ang hahanapin natin ng sagot in the next 48 minutes of basketball. Mag-umarjan po kasama natin si Jason Webb. What a run para dito sa Petron. They dropped their opener in this campaign against Peralco, pero they have not looked back since.
What a turnaround. Yeah, like you said, first game natalo sila and maybe people were thinking, nako, baka hindi na naman mahanap ng Petron yung form o yung form na sinasabi ng tao that they can actually achieve. But after that one loss, they've turned things around and have strung together 7 straight victories.
Ibang klase talaga ang kanilang pinakikita, led by their leader on the floor, none other than Arwin Santos, the Spider-Man. MVP in his sights na ba? Hindi, sa 7 panalo na yan, Jason, ni isang beses hindi siya naturing ang best player of the game, pero yung contribution niya palaging nando doon, very consistent siya.
And I think when you say something like that he wasn't even named the best player of any game in that win streak, what it also shows is that in this they are 7-1. Halos hindi mo rin marinig yung pangalan ni Arwin Santos. People are talking about their import, talking about the addition of Doug, all the other guys, the wings that are playing well, Alex is playing well. But with all that going around, it's still Arwin Santos na nakikita natin, numero hindi nawawala.
Averaging nearly a double-double, itatapat natin siya sa gabing ito doon sa isang dati niyang kasangga na si Jay Washington dito sa Petron San Miguel franchise. Mahigit 4 na taon naglaro dyan si Jay Wash. Isang kampyonato kanilang nakuha, pero he had to go, they had to make room for the others to come in.
For Petron, it was addition via subtraction, meaning by taking him out, they felt that they became a better team. But when him leaving, it also made GlobalPort a better team. Look at the conference averages he's had. He's also close to a double-double. Spent a lot of time with the San Miguel Petron franchise. 2-time best player of the conference winner with San Miguel. So the pedigree is there, and the opportunity to be the guy is also there para dito kay Jay Washington sa GlobalPort. And he's hoping that he can bring that success to GlobalPort, especially nakalaban niya ngayon yung dati niyang team.
So here we go. It is going to be the Petron Blaze Boosters taking on etong GlobalPort. Batang Pierre, isa pa lang ang nakakatisod sa Petron. Gusto na itong GlobalPort. Sila na ang pumangalawa. And at the same time, in the process, mapaganda yung kanilang paghabol into the playoffs. Playoffs push na nga tayo dito sa inyong Governor's Cup. So it is going to be the blue shirts of Petron taking on the white shirts of GlobalPort. Itong GlobalPort is also welcoming back itong si Kelly Nabong. Andiyan din si Gary David, Sol Mercado. Import nila si Markeith Cummings at si Jay Washington. Makakatapat ngayon itong si Junmar Fajardo, Ronald Tubid, Alex Cabagnot. Import nila si Elijah Millsap and Arwin Santos. Fajardo, turnaround jumper off the glass. That's good.
And we were talking about Arwin Santos earlier. Little things that make your teammates better. Good cross screen on his part. Really sealed or gave a good screen dun sa bantay ni Junmar to get Junmar open.
Nabong will line it up from 18. That's good. Itong win streak ng Petron, Jason, everybody looks at the offense. They have been putting up over 100 points per ball game, pero yung napakatinting depensa rin ang kanilang pinuhunan dito.
They've actually dominated on both ends of the court and all season long. They have the biggest spread in terms of yung points for nila at yung points against nila.
Elijah Millsap gets into the scoring column. Lamang ng dalawa itong Petron. Gary David, no go. Battling Junmar for the rebound. Tubit saves it over to Cabagnot. Nauna si Santos, di nakita na ito ni Millsap. Now he hands it off. Arwin kontra Cummings, and they look for the open man. Junmar sa poste. Gustong sukatin itong si Nabong. Junmar spins, sinalubong ni Gary. And David getting the raw end of it.
It's like Gary got hit.
Kalinabong whistled for that personal foul. Gary David shaken up here. 2 shots ibibigay dito kay Junmar Fajardo as the officials and yung ibang players are checking on Gary right now.
See on the turn because Gary's gonna double from the baseline.
Ooh, face to face pala ang nangyari doon. Nagkabesuhan and not in a good way. Napatunayan kung sino mas matigas ang mukha dito. In a good way din, of course.
Si Junmar, walang ininte.
Oh, parang yun, medyo pinapagpag lang niya. Parang, ando pala si Gary? Of course, magkasama rin yan sa Gilas, Pilipinas. Neto lang nakaraan. As Gary David, looks like there's blood coming out of his nose. So we will have that checked a little later on. So hindi pa nagsisimula magtrabaho si Miss Erica Padilla. Meron na siyang kailangan checkin. As Junmar misses on both free throws. So maagang exit para dito kay Gary D. Pero knowing El Granada, ipapagpag lang niya yan sandali. We should expect him back on the floor in just a few moments. Good Cummings, take it to the rack. Gets the basket and will through to the line for a bonus. Or Kelly Nabong rather. Kelly Nabong off the dribble kaya nagulat ako eh.
That's the only advantage na meron siya pagkalaban niya si Junmar Fajardo. Coming from the outside, try to use his quickness, able to use it right there.
Nabong coming off that 2-game suspension takes care of the bonus. Lamang na ang GlobalPort 5-4. All 5 of those points courtesy of Kelly Nabong. Talk about making up for lost time. Arwin attacking J-Wash. Pasa niya, ninakaw ni Cummings. Here comes Mark Keith in the front court, bothered by Cabagnot. Nabong will reset. Nakita nila doon sa kanan. Etong si Solomon Mercado. Washington to Cummings for a 3. Punches it through.
A good start para dito sa GlobalPort. 8 quick points, 8 very early points for them.
Cummings, who shoots 57% from deep, takes care of that. Talking about taking care of business, Junmar Fajardo to sa ilalim for the 2 points.
Well, initial good defense on the part of Jay Washington on the help. Pero credit also si Junmar, did not give up on the play.
Nabong, nahanap ito si Mercado. 6 to work with para dito sa Batang Pierre. Catch and shoot off the turnaround. Washington misses. Tapigan ang bola na pulot ni Nabong. Miller lines it up and punches it through.
Very early on, actually both teams shooting very well. Big difference is GlobalPort making some 3-pointers, also having 3-point plays.
Willie Miller, a rare 3-pointer para sa kanya. Pero talk about rare. Look at that looper. Galing dito kay Cabagnot.
We just talked about Petron Blaze not having a 3-pointer yet. Alex Cabagnot able to answer that.
That brings Petron to within 2. GlobalPort on the attack. Willie Miller, who was shooting 17% from the 3-point line. Gets it over to Nabong. 8 seconds to work with para sa Batang Pierre. Miller loses it to the sideline.
Like it pinag-uusapan Elijah Millsap, his offense. But the one thing that he also brings is that he plays with a lot of energy on the defensive end. He was actually the one that was able to just turn things around with defensive play na yun.
Si Millsap actually averages 3 steals per ball game and a whole lot more deflections. Misses from that baseline. Miller surveys the floor. Dumaan sa likod ni Nabong. Miller off the spin. They find Cummings. Couldn't pull the trigger. Drives closer. Pasa niya, natapik. Nabong will reset. Punta kay Washington. Now Cummings pulls the trigger. Di na yung pumasok. 4 na minuto na lumilipas dito sa loob ng Cuneta Astrodome as Cabagnot couldn't go back-to-back. Cummings sa kabilang dulo. Touchdown para kay Marquis.
Gotta talk if you're Petron. Nakita you have 2 people there, but both guys actually unaware that Marquis was already running behind them.
It is a fact na non-bearing game na to para dito sa Petron Blaze Boosters. Pero after tonight, 1 week ang kanilang pahinga. Stupid gets that one. Wala na silang laro all the way to the end of the eliminations, which is September 22. So mahaba-haba yan. So gusto mo pa rin maganda yung momentum na dadali mo sa isang linggo mahigit na yan.
And Magui, you want to stay sharp. Even if you're number 1, your advantage is just the same as the number 4 team. You have a twice to beat advantage against the team that you're playing against. So ayaw mo mawala yung edge mo. Right now they have an edge because they're in the midst of a pretty long win streak.
We gotta remember, uso ngayon in the recent history of the PBA, uso yung mga dehado, pinapataob yung mga nasa ibabaw. Just the last conference, Barangay Ginebra did that same thing to Rainer Shine. 2 yung Rainer Shine, 7 yung Ginebra. And just last season, etong Sanmig, which used to be BMEG, was number 1. Pinataob sila ng number 8 na Power 8. Tapong, no good. Arwin gets it off to Millsap. Nakita si Junmar, hindi na binaba.
That's a good job on the part of Junmar Fajardo. Just, yung sabi mo nga, hindi niya na binaba because hindi niya binaba yung bola, hindi na nakareact yung depensa.
6 points in the contest para dito kay Fajardo. 2 ang abante ng GlobalPort. Miller on the move. Huli ka ni Junmar. Traveling si Willie doon. Binaba niya bago pa yata madaplisan o mahuli. Siya rin yung sumalo.
The advantage of having a 6'9" player right there in the paint really changes the shots of the opponent.
You guys are still watching the PBA on IBC. Matapos matamaan ni Junmar Fajardo si Gary David, nagkaroon ng minor cut under his nose na nag-cause ng bleeding. At agad-agad namang tinulungan ng medical staff ng GlobalPort si Gary David by putting a cream para huminto na ang pagdurugo. And his daughter was right beside him when this was happening. At hanggang ngayon, nilalagyan pa rin ng pressure ni Gary David ang ilong para tuluyan na nga tumigil ang bleeding. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. So we should expect Gary David back on the floor as soon as tumigil na nga yung pagdurugo sa kanya. Ang mahirap doon, nasugatan daw no? Hindi lang siya nabugbog. So monitor natin yung sitwasyon na yan. Fajardo being patient underneath, pero dumulas yung kanyang pivot. Marshall Lassiter checking into the game for the first time para dito kay Tubid. Third leading scorer ng Petron, ito si Lassiter, and he does usually come off that bench, has only started once here the Governor's Cup.
And also playing against his former team, former franchise that he played for.
Miscue on the part of GlobalPort. Kabagnak looking to make them pay. Nagpasabit na lang doon etong si Alex. Sometimes hindi mo nga nakuha yung basket, pero you get a bigger fish dahil import yun na puwersa mong mag-foul doon. Kabagdok takes care of first as we take a look at this Kawasaki rousing fast break. Brought to you by Rouser 135 by Kawasaki. Rouse the rider in you. Ganda ng pasa ni Milsa papunta kay Fajardo. Easy 2 para sa Petron. Kabagdok ties the game at 15. Lampas kalahati na ng quarter number 1. Miller against Lassiter. Bounces it to the post. Cummings kontra Millsap. Import kontra import. The sweeping hook doesn't work. Kabagdok for the rebound. Millsap. The crossover. No. Cummings sasalo. It's a 2-on-1. Cummings attacking Kabagdok for the free throw.
Good job on the part of Markeith Cummings. He realizes that the player that is defending him actually went all the way to the basket. So nasa likod niya na. Only had to contend with a point guard to finish.
Less than 5 minutes remaining sa ating opening frame. Lassiter with the leather. Pull-up jumper. Marshall delivers.
Well, also, one of the things that you can credit the success of Petron to is so their players are finally healthy, especially their wing players. Marshall as well as Chris Lutz.
Tagal nilang inantay na mag 100% yung dalawang Kilas 1 players na yan. As Washington misses, here comes Elijah Millsap. Mercado trying to keep in front of him. Kapawanan ng labanan. Mercado bothers him enough for the miss. Millsap looks at the officials. Cummings is fouled by Cabagnot.
Under foul number 5, Alex Cordell. Substitution, Chris Lutz for Arkansas.
And as promised, Gary David is now making his way back onto the floor. Sa kabila naman si Fajardo at si Santos pinalitan muna ni Kramer and Lutz. Si Cummings ang pinagpahinga neto ni El Granada. Mercado trying to decide what to do. They go underneath. Nabitin lang yung layup na yon. Pero sa rebound play, merong foul. Looks like it's against Lutz. Oh, Elijah Millsap is whistled for his second personal.
Big news para sa Petron. Aga yan to get his second personal. Just under 4 minutes.
Pull-up jumper, David. Couldn't send it home. Kramer para sa rebound. Almost lost it. Lassiter picks it up. Cabagnot to Lutz. Baseline move. Puts it up. Sobra pero merong foul.
What's your foul number 11, Willie Miller? That's his first 3 on Matabia.
So Lutz is at the line for 2 shots. Mintis to sa una as we invite everybody na suportahan ang Cine Filipino. Mapapanood na ang Cine Filipino Film Festival simula September 18 to 24. Cine Filipino, kwento ang hari. Pumasok ba sa Cine Filipino yung indie film ni Richard?
Ano siya indie film? Anong title?
Ewan ko. Matagal na nagbabalak yun, di ba? So September 18 to 24, ano? Sarap din namang suportahan yan. Less than 4 minutes or less than 3.5 at that. Remaining sa quarter number 1. Millsap to Kramer. One dribble pull-up. Lost that leather. David saves it over to Mercado. Batang Pierre looking to push it. Pero this time around, ang bilis ng depensa ng Petron. Miller nandito sa sideline. Thought he was in trouble. Now he pulls the trigger. Willie. No go. Cabagnot calling Lassiter. Catch and shoot 3. Bang!
Gotta commit a little bit better if you're GlobalPort. We saw them on that transition. Instead of running out to the shooter on the outside, everyone is pointing the responsibility of this person coming out. Eventually, no one did. Lassiter makes the 3.
Petron now up by 4 points. Nice swipe on the part of Millsap. He pushes the action over to Lutz. Big pick from Kramer. Lutz nga lang nag-overshoot sa reverse niya.
Critical period para sa GlobalPort. They don't have their import there. They have a lot of scorers on the floor. Pero iba pa rin pag nandun yung import mo.
Cabagnot over to Millsap. He looks to settle things down. Atakin si J-Wash off the dribble. Natulungan ni Gary. Nice bounce underneath. Kramer delivers the 2 points.
GlobalPort probably has their best local crew in terms of scoring on the board.
Sports Radio. Less than 2 minutes natitira dito sa quarter number 1. The Petron Blaze has now erected the largest lead of the contest. Cummings gustong hatiin yon. No go. Taha underneath. Ayaw pa rin sa putback. Kramer for the board.
After a good start para dito sa GlobalPort, all of a sudden, they can't put points on the board. They had 8 in about less than, just over 2 minutes.
Lutz sinanap si Lassiter. Toishman pinasok na rin ni Coach Gia Vanilla rito. Lassiter lights it up.
Palit ng tao, pagpalit ng tao ng Petron, the players that come in are as good as the ones that started. That's been the difference.
Second three-pointer for the 39% shooter. 8 points in total para kay Marshall Lassiter as Mercado gets away from the net.
Has to create for himself, has to create for his team. Notice na hindi sila makakuha ng puntos. He's a guard that is willing to pass the ball, and also he's a guard that can create for himself.
First 2 points yan of the game para dito kay Sultry. Lassiter off a series of picks. merong offensive foul dito kay Deutschman.
Substitution from the Salvador for Jay Washington and
Salvador pumasok nga para dito kay Washington. Si Mandani pinalitan na rin si Sol Mercado. Pate-testing ngayon itong bench players or second unit ng GlobalPort Batang Pierre. Yung Petron, alam mo naman, kahit second fight niya o third fight, kaya pwede nga daw na starter kahit sa ibang kupunan. Cummings underneath, sneaks one through.
Just like Petron Blaze was able to take advantage nung nakaupo si Cummings. Now it's GlobalPort's turn to try to take advantage while Elijah Millsap is on the bench.
Lutz loses it. David on the run, gets it to the other side. Cummings for the stretch. And GlobalPort is back to within 3 points.
Game of runs so far. Started off well past the GlobalPort. Petron had the middle. Now GlobalPort trying to come back here in the close of the first quarter.
Last shot time nga para dito sa Petron. Lanete lost it. Cummings saves it to the wrong man. And that'll do it for quarter number 1. 26-23 ang nasa ating talaan. Etong Petron Blaze will be taking a 3-point lead after surviving etong onslaught ni Markeith Cummings. Junmar Pardo, maagang contribution na. At syempre, ito si Marshall Lassiter, nakakadalawang tres na off that Blaze Boosters bench. Kaya lamang sila ng 3 puntos.
Watching the PBA on IBC, according to Marshall, malaking tulong sa nabubuong chemistry ng Petron ang pagiging healthy nila at kumpleto. They've been sharpening little details ng maayos because everyone is present on the same page. If there's one word para kay Marshall to describe Petron, they are now a team. Balik sa inyo.
Yun ang pinakamagandang balitang narinig talaga at napansin ng Petroniverse sa komperensyang ito. Ang tagal lang inantay ng Petron Faithful na yung potential na itong team na to on paper translates onto the floor. They come into tonight 7-1, looking to finish even stronger at 8-1 dito sa huli nilang laro sa elimination round. Pero John Dan Salvador will have none of it. He brings GlobalPort to within 1. Kasama ni Salvador sa seg, itong sina Baha, David, Cummings, and Mandani. Gustong pigilan sina Lassiter, Deutschman, Lanete, Kramer, and Lutz. One more time para dito kay Marshall. Partida, tinamaan pa yun sa mata. Hindi pala kailangan tumingin sa ring nito para makashoot ng bola. Just before he pulled up or set himself up for that shot, kaya siya napigilan dahil nasundutan na siya. And even before that pull-up, nasundutan siya before that, kaya hawak na niya yung kanyang mata. Tumitingin siya sa referees, wala bang pito? Okay, titira ko na lang. It's right under the eye, ano? Looks like that's what they're checking on. At inirereklamo pa rin yan ni Marcio.
See, it happens a little bit earlier, right there.
And right there, Marshall Lassiter, as he tried to gather himself back up, biglang, oh, okay, action continues. He made him pay by burying his third triple. It's 29-25 sa puntong ito. Petron abante pa rin ang 4. Lassiter will have to troop back to the bench. Balik sa sahig, itong si Elijah Millsap. Di mo malaman kung good news yun o bad news para sa Batang Pierre, ano, Jason? Dahil okay, ang init ng shooting nila sa napuwersan yung mapaupo muna. Ang problema, import naman ng papalit.
But you were expecting him to come back around, probably just a minute longer. He rested quite early in that first quarter anyway, about the 3-minute mark. Yun naman yung ina-expect mo. Get some rest at the end of quarters, come back.
Mandani misses on the second. This is now going to be the 4th deadlock of this game. Ay na, 29-26. Lamang pa rin ng tatlo. Etong Petron. Mandani over to Cummings. Taking it to the rack.
Cummings is the one that's really been the catalyst in terms of scoring para dito sa GlobalPort. And one thing that they've done well in terms of getting their points from is actually on the fast break. Ilang beses na yan para dito sa GlobalPort.
Lutz on the move all the way to the hole. Bumuka yung depensa ng GlobalPort.
He's taken a back seat seemingly in terms of offense for this team, really allowing the rest of the players to get their points. Remember, in his first year with Petron, he was actually one of their top scorers.
This conference, 7 points per ball game lang ang inaambag neto ni Lutz as Lanete na ilang dun sa chase down neto ni Markeith. Lanete, step back jumper. In and out and back in.
One of the other guys na nakakalimutan in the mix of the success of Petron has actually been Chico Lanete. He's been an able backup para dito sa Petron.
This guy's coming off back-to-back tournament personal best performances. Naka 13 puntos 2 games ago against Talk and Tex, and then kontra sa Alaska, 16 points siya doon kung hindi tayo nagkakamali. And he has been shooting it great from the field as Cummings locates Mandani. Scoop layup is good.
Another fast break coming out of that turnover in combination para sa GlobalPort. They've scored 16 points coming off the fast break or a turnover.
Ito si Lutz looks winded at this point. Nakahawak na sa kanyang tuhod. Off your screens dito sa kanto. As Deutschmann will line it up, punches that one through. Petron plays pang-limang tres na, Jason. 5 of 7 from deep so far here in the Cuneta.
And they're shooting very well, not only from three-point range, all over the floor for them. Right now shooting 61% from the field.
Now they look to add to the 6-point lead. Hinahanap ni Millsap si Kramer. Na-traffic yung pasa. Cummings will push it the other way. Markeith drops it off to Taha.
Yes, Taha for Markeith Cummings.
GlobalPort continues to attack the transition defense of Petron. The one problem para sa Petron sa araw na to so far has been turnovers. 8 turnovers so far for them.
A little sloppy para dito sa Blaze Boosters as Kramer muscles this one through. 4 points in the contest para dito kay Douglas. Balik sa anim ang abante ng Petron. Ano naman yung bakbakan, Salvador at Deutschmann dyan sa poste.
Yeah, John Dan feels that he can take Deutschmann because di ba magkasama sila dati sa isang team.
Steal by Lutz. Gets it to Lanete. Stop and pop 3. No, oh, Millsap right there for the rebound. Feeds Kramer for his 6th point. And Coach Junel Baguli galit na galit dahil wala nga namang nagbabox out sa kanyang mga tropa. Kaya nagsisimula naman mag-aabante ng Petron. 8 puntos na to. 30-second timeout para sa Batang Pier.
Remember, this is a much bigger game para dito sa GlobalPort compared to Petron. Bakit? Because Petron has already been assured of not only advancing to the quarterfinals, but being number 1 in this conference after the elimination phase. GlobalPort, on the other hand, you know, they can actually go all the way up for an opportunity for a twice-to-beat advantage, or
All the way out.
all the way down, all the way out kung mahabol sila ng Token Tex, o kaya Ginebra, or even Air 21.
Lalong-lalo na ang huling game netong GlobalPort in the elimination round will be this coming Friday. Barangay Ginebra ang kanilang katapat. So, dito na sila makakasungkit no? Dahil non-bearing to para sa Petron. Baka sakaling makapuwing sila kesa naman yung nag-ahabol din sa pwestuhan na Barangay Ginebra.
You look at Barangay Ginebra, they're actually gonna play teams that have direct effect kung manalo sila o matalo into kung makakaabot sila sa next round because they play Token Tex and they play GlobalPort.
Uh-oh, watch out. Sinimplihan na lang yun ni Elijah Millsap. Yan ay Barangay Ginebra this Friday nga po. Etong GlobalPort ang kanilang katapat. Tapos sa linggo, September 22, the very last game ng elimination round, they take on the Tropang Texters. Grabing implications sa lahat ng bakbakan from here on.
Markeith Cummings, 3!
Markeith Cummings buries another long one.
He's got 16 of the 35 points of his team. So far, ang hinahanapan dito ng puntos para sa GlobalPort, they've not gotten much out of Gary, out of Willie, and out of Sol. And those are the guys na inaasahan na tutulong dito kay Markeith Cummings.
The silent operator ng Petron gets those 2 points. Bonus free throw parating. Ayun yung binabanggit natin kanina, no? Arwin Santos, pero before yan, eto nga, siya pa rin yung ating sisilipin sa ating Photon Strong Drive brought to you by Photon. empower your business. Not a single best player of the game citation in 7 wins, pero hindi siya nawawala. He has always been producing steady yung numbers niya.
Well, and as a team, Arwin's been there. He's seen yung mga pagpalit ng tao, pagdagdag, pagbawas, and he's part of that maturation process of this team. Kung saan, they've been together for a while and almost feel like they're due after being together for a while.
Medyo masama yung naging pasa doon. Washington forced to save it to the wrong man. Arwin, butata ng board. Lalim na niya masyado nung kanyang nasa liyon. Washington looking to make them pay. Napakagat si Arwin. Salvador has it taken away by Lanete. Lutz on the run. Mercado sasalubong. Oh! Dalawa pa. Yung gustong tumaktak doon. Cummings to J-Wash for the jam doon sa kabilang dulo. Nanghinayang yung buong bench ng Petron. Napatayo doon sa miscue na yun.
Even the people at the Cuneta, Millsap was lining himself to that goal, as well as Arwin Santos.
Lutz on the move. Sino may kasalanan nun? Yung namasa. Hindi naintindihan kung sino yung kinindatan niya.
But you look at it, I think Chris actually had eyes on Elijah. But you'd rather have lots of guys showing the drive or the passion to actually run down the court and be involved in the fast break.
Alam mo, may nangyaring ganyan, pero on the follow-up yata yon sa PBA D-League. Lutz, hindi si Lutz, si Ellis at saka si Hodge. Pagkakampi sila, merong famous picture yun eh. Dumakdak silang dalawa sabay.
Akala ko mag-NBA jam eh. Yung pag pinasa, papasa ulit.
Papasa pa ulit. 46-37. Despite that miscue, Petron abante pa rin by 9 points. Looking to put on a show. Arwin lurking once again, pero Lutz this time decides to take it himself, and he gets the elegant shot looking 2 points.
And right now, it's team ball para sa Petron. You have so many guys contributing from top to bottom, from the guys that started to the guys that are in the second unit.
Mercado to Salvador. Magigipagmanggaan dito kay Fajardo. Mercado with a pull-up long two is good.
They're going to need some scoring from him. That's a 4th point mula kay Sol Mercado. If you're going to allow Petron to put up 48 points with over 5 minutes and, under 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go, you got to make sure that your scorers are able to score.
Fajardo gets them to 50. 50 points na Petron, Jason, pero yung import nila, 4 na puntos pa lang ang naiko-contribute. Pero Millsap also has 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals.
And that's why, you have this team that really enjoys playing with their import.
Washington lines it up. Couldn't send it home. Tumama pa sa shot clock in palbog noon. As we head into this timeout, 50-39, Petron up by 11 points. Nang po sa atin kung ano yung madalas natin i-post na screenshot na app about the PBA scores. Ito na po yun, yung Pinoy Hoops. Follow the NCAA and PBA like never before. Real-time updates straight from your phone with Pinoy Hoops. Be the ultimate Hoops fan and follow your favorite teams and players. Now available both on Android and iOS. May box score pa dyan live box score. Sa akala nyo po pag dinownload yan, para nyo nang inuwi si Roy Lopez. Kasama nyo sa kotse nyo. Dahil may box score ka eh. 50-39 nasa ating talaan. Nice stretch galing dito kay Washington. Mintis nga lang. Mercado will reset their attack. The Soul Train drops it off to Jonda. Nice decision finishing with a left hand.
And a nice drive on the part of Sol Mercado to set up his teammate.
Millsap through a Fajardo pick. Pulls up for a 3. No good. Fajardo rebound na. Bibilang on the follow. Pero inabot ni J-Wash na pababa yung bola. Kahit hindi mo kang papasok eh.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be short. The problem was it was on its way down. You should still allow it to travel its normal course.
Hayaan mo siyang tumama sa ring no? Yun inabot na kagad niya. Hindi pa pwede yun. Pagkwentuhan mga ulit tayo dito kay Erica.
With this lead of Petron over GlobalPort, kalsado pa rin naman ang the usualing madamdamin na si Coach Junel. Pero itong si Sol Mercado ang mas emotional, telling everyone, guys, Please, let's follow the game plan. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. Tignan natin if they will heed Coach Janelle's call. Lutz with a looper. Miller sa rebound pero ninakaw din ni Lutz yung kanyang pasa. Frustrating times para dito sa GlobalPort.
That's already the 7th steal as a team para dito sa Petron.
Millsap couldn't make him pay pero look at Junmar battle for it. Napunta nga lang sa Batang Pier yung bola rito. Libre si Cummings do sa kanan, hindi nakita ni Mercado. Solomon wanting to take Millsap off the dribble, kicks it over. Washington couldn't deliver. Cummings though gets that possession right back. Marquise sasalubungin ni Fajardo, kicks it back out. They find Mercado who pulls up. Bang!
Very effective second quarter para kay Sol Mercado. That's his 7th point in the quarter, and also you can see him setting up his teammates in this quarter.
Timeout muna ni-request dito ng Petron. Nanggit ni Jason kanigani na lamang, etong si Solomon Mercado is having one of those quarters for himself. Kita niya, no, wala masyadong nakakapag-ambag mula sa kanyang bataan dito sa GlobalPort. So he has taken it upon himself to try and provide the scoring punch. And for more on Mercado, balikan natin si Eric.
Sol is considered by Coach Janelle as his extension on the court, and Sol is very happy to take on that responsibility. But inamin niya that it's a big task to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Hopefully daw ang pagod ng Petron for playing its 3rd game in 5 days will be an advantage so they can execute well. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. Look at Petron though. Okay, GlobalPort's looking better on the offensive edge. Ang problema nila sa depensa, binapatay sila ngayon. Ito ni Junmar Fajardo.
Yeah, and because Junmar just read the defense. You could see that the defense was overplaying for that screen in the baseline. Sabi niya, sige, kung dyan ka pupunta, hindi na ako tatawid. Nice alley-oop, nice pass from Elijah Millsap.
Salvador had that pass nearly stolen by Cabagnot. 2:03 natitira sa ating first half. Maya-maya lang po, babalik din tayo sa Sports 5 Center with Aaron Ataide and the Tower of Power, Venancio Benji Paras. Idol nating lahat yan. Mercado pulls up for 3. All board this time. Cabagnot surveys the floor. Alex looking for Fajardo once again this time around. Miller wises up to it. Hans Tiele on the floor for the first time. Gets it over to Miller. Nasundutan nga lang siya. Neto ni Santos from behind. So Petron immediately looking for Fajardo once again. Foul tuloy na pito dito kay Tiele.
Junmar puts so much pressure on the big men on the other side because he sprints down and he takes position in the paint. And yun, pag ginagawa na yun, it sets up a lot of things. Sets up points for himself and also for the shooters outside dahil kailangan sila bumaba.
Gary David making his way back onto the floor. Papalitan si Willie Miller. Sideline in para dito sa Petron. Millsap isolated against Cummings. Step back jumper off the crossover. Kailang umubra. Cummings gusto bumawi. Had to work for that pass. Gets it back out to Sol. Tiele. Oh, what a big spin. Hans Tiele delivers the 2 points.
But people are forgetting how good an athlete Hans Tiele is. That's the things that he can do. A guy that has enough length and can match up pretty well with Arwin Santos.
That brings GlobalPort to within 6. Pintis pa. Dito ang Petron. Gary David gets it back up to Cummings. Handoff pabalik kay El Granada. Hinahanap talaga nila yung scoring neto ni Gary, pero well covered siya dito ng Petron. Lassiter all over Gary. Lassiter with a steal. Millsap on the run. Lilipad ba? Arwin, nothing on the putback. At mapupunta ang bola dito sa Batang Pier.
Last shot time if you are GlobalPort here, at least for this quarter.
Mercado holding it. GlobalPort can come to within 4, maybe even 3 with a booming triple. Foul given up by Alex Cabagnot. 1 of 3 to give para dito sa Petron.
Substitution, Greener for Elijah.
Kabagnot will give up another one.
Yeah, that's going to be his third. So if they're going to give up another one, they got to put in Chico Lanete. That's exactly what Coach G is going to do.
Substitution, Chico Lanete for Alex.
So last foul to give para dito sa Petron. GlobalPort's gotta go quick. 5 seconds to shoot. Gary nakawala. Oh! Big follow by Marquez. Lanete with a chance for a Hail Mary. Too strong para dito kay Chico. 54-50, just when we thought Petron was starting to run away with this one. GlobalPort coming on strong to end this first half. Marquise Cummings with a big follow to bring them to within 4 points. 7 points. Etong GlobalPort has gotten themselves back to within 4. 54-50 as he joined us back at the half inside the Cuneta. Mag-umarjan po. Kasama pa rin natin si Jason Webb. Ganda ng runs natin dito, no? Itong GlobalPort actually started out strong.
Yes, it's been a game of runs. You said it earlier, GlobalPort started out strong. Then Petron had the middle of that first quarter. That was GlobalPort ulit tumabol. It's been going back and forth. And both teams trying to take advantage of what they perceive as weaknesses on the other side.
Silipin natin yung ilan sa mga kapanapanabik na pangyayari. Unahin natin from quarter number 1. And it was Marquise Cummings and the rest of GlobalPort using their hot shooting to get them off to an 8-4 start to open this game. Pero doon na nagising etong Petron Blaze. Junmar Fajardo off that Arwin Santos rebound will be located here by Millsap. Lumamang ng hanggang siyam etong Petron in quarter number 1 dahil din na rin dito kay Marshall Lassiter. Sunod-sunod na tres ang kanyang ibinanat dito bago siya nasundutan. Doon sa kanyang muka, lumamang ng tatlo ang Petron, 26-23.
Marshall played really well. Like you mentioned, he had 8 points. Cummings really was the main guy para sa GlobalPort in that first quarter with his 11 points. See the field goal shooting, but look at this. Dito humabol itong Petron Blaze. So nagpalit yung tao, you said it earlier. Lumamang na una itong Global, pero nakahabol ang Petron because they had better local scoring and they had better bench scoring.
Pagdating na second quarter, doon nagsimula ang problema talaga etong GlobalPort. 8 of their 12 turnovers so far, dyan nila naitala. One of them, this, which led to a two-handed throwdown mula dito kay Elijah Millsap. And then in that second quarter, we saw a lot more Junmar Fajardo. Talagang hinanap siya ng kanyang mga kakampi. Walang makapigil doon sa malaking mama sa ilalim. And the rookie has given a good account of himself so far. Pero ito si Marquise Cummings had the last say to cut the deficit to 4.
8 players scored para dito sa Petron Blaze. Total team effort on their part. It continues to be a total team effort, just like what we've seen all conference. Cummings continues to do well for GlobalPort with his 7. Look at their rebounds, 11 to 8. That's to have 8 rebounds in a quarter doesn't really bode well for your team. Bench continues to dominate para sa Petron. Pero dito na buhay naman itong GlobalPort. That's why this was a close quarter. Fast break and turnover points. That's a +6 there. It's not like Petron didn't run, but they didn't convert when they ran. They ran 9 times. They had 7 steals. They ran 9 times, but only could score 4 points out of those 9 fast break attempts.
At para malaman natin ano ang mga balak na magkabilang koponan for the second half, balikan natin si Miss Erica.
Last 5 minutes na ng halftime, nasa loob pa rin ng dugout ang GlobalPort at nakalabas na ang buong Petron at sabi niya kailangan daw mababaan nila ang kanilang mga turnovers and control the ball better and watch out for steals and transition points ng Petron. Para naman kay Coach G, they still feel na kailangan nilang babaan din ang kanilang ang fast break points ng kalaban, turnover points, at syempre ang second chance points na nakukuha ng GlobalPort. That's why they have to match their intensity by hustling more on defense and by taking better shots. Balik sa inyo.
Sino kayang kakwentuhan ni Erica at Tapano? Sabi niya. Ayun, sabi ng mga coaches, sabi ni Miss Erica. Balik ka para may pang-anim na. Third quarter now underway. 54-50 is the score. GlobalPort almost had it stripped by Tubid. Ang lima ng GlobalPort will have David, Washington, Mercado, Nabong, and Cummings. Gustong pigilan nila Tubid, Santos, Kabagnot, Millsap, and Fajardo.
The GlobalPort is coming off a very good run to close that first half, and they start off strong. here in the second half.
Sinukat ni Cummings doon, si Junmar, tinignan ko sasabay, nalusutan si Millsap, and then na-posterize na. Actually, deer in headlights na si Junmar, di na siya makatalon doon.
Already an 11-2 run for GlobalPort, crossing the first half and the second half.
Millsap wanting to break their silence. 2 free throws parating para sa kanya. As we take a look at this Photon Strong Drive, nothing stronger than that. Brought to you by Photon. Empower your business.
Highlight plays para dito kay Cummings, connecting, bridging the first half and the second half.
Pero si Millsap has re-established a 4-point lead para dito sa Petron Blaze. Cummings na naman may tangan ng bola. Millsap now tasked to stop him. Nabong from the outside. No-go rebound battle. David against 2. Gary beating Tubid and Millsap sa pagkakataon niya.
Nice to see Gary getting involved in the rebound, especially on the offensive end.
Mercado to Cummings. Goes right. Wanting to spin, losing the leather. Arwin Santos on the breakout. Uy, dalawa nilusutan. What a shot para dito kay Santos.
He's putting on the brakes. But pinadaan yung dalawang humahabol sa kanya sa likod.
58-52. Balik sa anim mga bante ng Petron.
Ooh, tough matchup. Jay Washington and Arwin Santos.
Cummings in trouble. Lost his dribble. They go over to Mercado. Attacking the lane, sinalubong ni Junmar, wanting to pass it off. Millsap takes it away. Over to Arwin. Santos with that familiar floater. Trying to go glass, nakapagpasabit dito kay Jay Wash.
Washington has his first 17 foul by the 2 free throws. Arwin Santos.
Here's that play earlier. You know that he's super athletic, but minsan kailangan gamitin mo rin utak din eh. Good, ginamit niya yung utak niya and his guile to be able to get through there on that fast break.
Great stopping power, ano? Dalawa umahabol, mauna na kayo. Santos makes it 59-52 in favor of Petron. Cummings contra Millsap. Elijah extending his defense. Mabong puts it on the floor, running into a brick wall named Fajardo.
2 people on one spot. Poor spacing on the part of GlobalPort, leading to that turnover.
Ito yung binabanggit mo, Jay.
This was earlier. It's 2 guys trying to get position.
Grabe yung bakbakan, ano? Arwin
Last
and
part of
Jay
this
Wash.
play right there.
No love lost between these two. Nagkumustahan lang naman siguro. As Millsap can bring another deuce.
After 2 points by GlobalPort earlier. Now it's Petron trying to get into a run once again. Their offense did slow down earlier.
Mercado on that baseline. Looking for Nabong, not expecting it. Here comes Millsap sa kabilang dulo. Cummings in front of him. Millsap, kakaliwaan pa niya. Sana niya ng bit-bit yun. Running out of control.
And Petron continues to run, but they continue to not get anything when they run. That's 13 times they've gone on a fast break. And then only 11 points to show for it. Especially in the second quarter and here in the third quarter, wherein you feel there's numbers pero hindi na nakakuha yung puntos.
Cummings will launch it. No go. Cabagnot will track it down. Tubid on the move. Millsap asking for it. Elijah off the step back. Parang hindi lang Arwin kontra Jay Wash. Itong dalawang import, gusto may one-upmanship din, ano?
It's been a pretty battle at that spot as well.
Petron turns it over. Gary gets it to Cummings for the 2 points. GlobalPort keeping themselves within striking distance of Petron. Kapang-4 na minuto lumilipas sa ating ikatlong minuto. Turnover na naman ni Millsap. Tumatakbo si Gary. Tubid on him. Gary bothered by the defense of the Fearless. Pulls up anyway. Pardo for the rebound. Nauna na si Millsap sa kabilang dulo. Wise decision to be patient on that play.
He's rewarded not because of effort or anything. Pero nagkataon lang, nahulog siya. And then there was a 4-shot on the part of GlobalPort to get him that fast break.
Mercado with a pull-up in front of Cabagnot. Si Alex.
Saul's getting his. He has his 11. Cummings is getting his as well. Meron na siyang 22. So hinahanapan pa the rest of those scorers para dito sa GlobalPort.
Naantay pa rin nila ang pagsabot nito ni El Granada, but he's been getting it done on the defensive end. Washington to the rack. Sumakay ka pa. Huwag ka lang malikot. Jay Washington, pinasabit na lang sa pagkakataon na yun. Ito si Ronald Tubin, earning for himself a 3-point play opportunity. Washington completes it as we send it over to Erica.
This is the first time na magtatapat si Jay Wash at ang kanyang dating team. A big game definitely, pero kumpiyansa pa rin siya dahil maganda naman daw ang pinapakitang improvement ng GlobalPort. He admits na kailangan pa niya ng mas mahabang panahon so he can truly be more comfortable and well-adjusted bilang batang tiyan. He claims na ang magiging sandata nila against sa magandang chemistry ng Petron ay ang kanilang matapang at malakas na fighting spirit sa gitna ng pagsubok. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you, Erica. Jason, regardless of what happens to GlobalPort, the rest of their campaign here in the Governor's Cup, if these guys stick together and get that time to gel together, gano'n pa dangerous ito as our first Cup, the Philippine Cup?
It's going to be tough to say because you're looking at some of their players, some of their key players. Yes, they have some youth as well. They have some youth in that team, but also they have some guys that are on the wrong end of 30. So that's actually going to be the big question mark. How these guys will be able to take care of themselves.
Habang rejected there by Junmar. Tubit to Junmar on the trail. Fajardo wisely kicks it back out. Tubit swings it. Planete for three.
You mentioned it earlier. He continues to play well. Played well in the last two games and also been an able backup to Alex Cabagnot. When you leave him open, that's always going to be a good thing. Another good thing para sa Petron, their defense. Junmar Fajardo with the block and the aforementioned Chico Lanere for 3.
24, Cine Filipino, kwento ang hari. 69-59, etong Petron Blaze nakapagtayo na naman ng 10 puntos na kalamangan. Chico Lanete has been shooting the lights out of the basketball courts they have been playing in the last 3 games. Murray day 3 just moments ago. Mercado though loses him dito sa kabilang dulo. Paha to Washington. Di makabawi sa tres na yun. Fajardo over to Lanete once again. They go up!
That scored a fast break.
Yun lang talaga problema na no? As Gary David, di makabawi. Ayaw pa rin para kay Washington. Eto na naman, papas break na naman ng Petron. Elsap, dinaan na sa ilalim ng kiligili ni Taha yun.
If there was any question what kind of Petron team would come out today, I think the first half and portion of this third quarter, nakikita na natin, they still have their foot pedal to the metal, and they want to continue that win streak.
Talagang disconference yung Petron plays Euro 4 ang kanilang kinakarga sa kanilang mga tangke as we send it over to Erica.
Elijah Millsap acknowledges himself that he is a good fit for Petron with his leadership, toughness, and execution on both ends. Before, he felt the individualistic mindset of some players, but now he can say that it has totally changed as everyone is becoming more selfless and generous sa kanilang mga laro. Balik sa inyo.
Jason, okay, jam-packed, superstar-laden lineup etong Petron, pero yung dinadala ni Millsap should really give him or make him one of the strongest contenders for best import.
First of all, the record that they have, they're 7-1 right now. Plus, he's doing everything. When you are with a winning team, usually that would mean that makakuha ka rin ng mga individual awards.
Pull-up jumper on the catch. No good. Taha slow to get up. Tumatakbo Petron. Lanete jumps it out. Millsap. Diretso sa kamay ni Cummings.
Another fast break opportunity lost.
Nanggigigil ba Petron sa puntong ito? Actually, all game long eh. Every time they get out on the run, 50-50. Di ba? Ilang pass break attempts? 50-50 kaninin eh.
And you know, that is a boatload of attempts. To have 15 attempts at this point in terms of getting on the run. Dami nun.
Pero, 15 fast break attempts, 13 puntos lang nakuha doon. So, less than 50% pa.
And when you look at it, it's hindi siya pilit na mga fast break attempts. You know, they have the right personnel and the right numbers to actually score.
Gary David starting to find his range here.
First 2 points pa lang ni Gary, and he's one of the guys na sinasabi natin, kailangan pumuntos if they're going to allow Petron to continue to have a high-scoring game.
1 of 8 na itong si El Granada. Lassiter with a 1 too strong. Rebound. Napulot na lang ni David yon. El Granada on the run once again. Has it taken away by Lanete, pero first bothered by Millsap. Kanino steal din? Kay Millsap kay Lanete? Lanete. Dahil na-recover naman eh. Petron abante pa rin by 10 points. Fajardo will offer the pick. Lanete lines up a 3. Keep it to stick. Lanete ulit. GlobalPort dodging a couple of bullets there. As Cummings jumps it out. Mercado nagantay ng pick. Mercado down to good at the defense. No, Taha, nothing on the follow. Millsap on the run. Washington giving chase. Millsap all the way!
Elijah Millsap has pretty much done everything. So far, he has got 14 points, 10 of them happening here. He's got 11 rebounds and 9 assists.
Wow. Sana lang triple-double na para dito kay Elijah. Kaya naman talagang napapakamot na lang ng ulo si Coach Junel Bacul. Ang ating babakan, Rudy Linganay now on the floor for the first time. Naghahanap na ng magic bullet dito si Coach Junel. Foul whistle on Lanete. 73-61 ang nasa ating talaan. Mag-umargin po ang inyong lingkod. Kasama natin si Jason Webb, pati na rin si Erica Padilla. Magpapatuloy ng ating Super Bowl Sunday dito sa IBC. Cummings looking for Linganay, 5 to work with. Marquise has to pull the trigger. Back irons that one, rebound battle. Nahabulin ni Washington. Pero natapak na siya sa sideline bago pa niya. Hindi, sinuntok.
Yes.
Sinuntok yung bola. Mandatory timeout, hindi pa. Timeout na para dito. Back inside the Cuneta kung saan among the thousands for our Super Bowl Sunday crowd, nahanap na natin ang ating mga ulala mahal na masa fans.
Wow, ang sweet!
Yan! Mula sa masarap, malaman, mura at convenient kasi easy to open ulalam, ready to eat ulam. Para sa masa, mahal na masa. Ulalam, 15 pesos lang. Pag kayo ni Miko, nagsusubuan din kayo ulalam, di ba?
Siyempre naman, pag pinapadala kami.
Wala na pong 3 minuto na titira sa ating third quarter. Lassiter, tied up by Linganay. Rudy with some positive minutes here. Pero dehado siya dito sa lundagan. Pero look from out of nowhere, JP Belenchon on the floor. Likewise for the first time para dito sa GlobalPort securing that lead. Belenchon, a 3-point specialist. The coach Junel, let's see if he can contribute here as Cummings is being bothered by Millsap. One-on-one coverage, hindi makalusot. Etong si Marquis. Taha's gotta go. 3 to shoot. Taha loses it to that corner. Coach Janelle frustrated on their sideline. Samantala sa kabila si Coach G pinapalakpakan yung effort ng kanyang mga bata as we send it over to Erica.
During the huddle, binulungan ako ni Willie, reminding me of what he told me earlier before the game, na ito ang iniiwasan nila, ang magkanya-kanya pag natatambakan. Nalilimutan daw nila mag-usap dahil nagpapanik na, kaya lalong nawawala. Balik sa inyo.
A long way to go in this game. It's not really a big lead at the moment. Only a 12-point lead, but I think dyan din makikita, this is a team na ngayon rin lang naman nagsama-sama. They're getting pieces together. Just like para sa Petron, they eventually went through that maturation process and finally they get it going. Parang ganyan din sigurado sa GlobalPort.
Lassiter down the lane. That gives Petron the largest lead of the contest, 14 puntos, 75-61. Wala ng 2 minuto na titira sa third quarter. Millsap whistled for this foul.
Holding foul number 1 by Millsap. That's his third. 14 foul for the Blaze Boosters.
Let's see if GlobalPort will stick to the system. O katulad nga nung kinakatakot daw ni Willie na kinikwento ni Erica, nagkakanya-kanya na. Now they swing the leather around. Salvador attacking Kramer. Gandang magkaan yan. Kramer though gets that rebound. Salvador bothers him from behind. Mananatili ang bola sa GlobalPort. Belencian contra Lassiter. Loses the leather. Lassiter gets it across. Marshall kicks it out to Chico.
That's 3 straight misses para kay Lanete. 3 good looks, just not falling for him.
Lingganay steps on the gas. Running out of control.
That's turnovers. Back-to-back turnovers para sa GlobalPort. And other than that, this unit has actually not gotten a very good shot up.
Millsap balik na muna sa bench. Sinalubong kaagad na masigabong palakpakan ng supporters ng Petronivers. Arwin ang pinalit muna sa kanya ni Coach G. Abanile. Bounces out though, everything but the shot para dito kay Lutz.
Critical last minute. It's only 60 seconds, but Petron has a chance to really break this game wide open in this final 62 seconds.
Lutz misses on the first as we invite everybody na suportahan ng Cine Filipino Film Festival simula September 18 hanggang 24. Cine Filipino, kwento ang hari. Dalawang mintis. Galing dito kay Lutz. Belencian fought for that board. Here comes Lingganay and the rest of Batang Pierre. Washington gustong atakin si Arwin. Handoff papunta kay Belencian. Quick release. JP misses. Arwin para sa board. Lutz in the lane once again. Niluwanan naman ang ring.
Pushing foul for Petron Salvador. That's his first.
Unang personal para dito kay Salvador.
Lutz made those earlier 2 free throws and he made that easy layup. This could be already an 18-point lead, a chance to make it 19 if it's by a 3-point play. That's what I was saying, that at last 62 seconds, Petron really had a chance to blow this game wide open.
Washington, pinagpahinga na rin ni Coach Janelle. Balik sa sahig si Hans Tiele. Petron po, pagkatapos ng final buzzer ngayong gabi, tapos na ang elimination round assignments nila. They will either be 8-1 or 7-2. Regardless, they are number 1 pagdating ng playoffs. GlobalPort still 1 remaining game on their schedule at kontra yan sa Barangay Ginebra. Friday, September 20, yung bakbakan na yan. Kramer finishing with the left hand. 78-61. Petron pouring it on. Sinasabayan yung ulan sa labas na itong kuneta.
Looking for number 5, Alex Caballero. He has scored 15 foul for the Petron Blaze Boosters.
Nagbadali din dun, ano? Itong GlobalPort with 4.7 seconds remaining. Now Petron is out of fouls to give. Linganay. Up and under, Rudy could not deliver. And that'll do it for the first 36 minutes of action. Ang Petron, abante po rito ng 17, 78-61. 12 minuto natitira sa ating bakbakan. Tingnan natin kung makakabalik pa ang bata. Jay Washington. And so far, itong koponan ni Arwin Santos, abante ng 17, 78-61. At pagdating sa individual contributions, Jason, Arwin Santos din ang nakakalamang dyan dito kay Washington. And for more on that, let's send it over to Erica.
Sa magandang tinatakbo ng laro ni Arwin, excited siya sa malaking posibilidad na mag-MVP. He says na malaking factor ang pagtutulungan nila ng team, kaya naman nakakapag-deliver siya. Hindi daw mapapantayan ang mahuhusay na laro sa practices at actual games, kaya naman pag nakuha niya ang award, it will truly be a sweet victory not only for him, but for Petron. Balik sa inyo.
Ilang taon na natin tinututukan to, Jason. Itong si Arwin Santos, always in the running sa best player of the conference, always in the running year in year out sa MVP. Is this the year for Arwin Santos?
It happens to be the year. It's very going to be a strange year because it seems that he's been dominant, been more dominant in previous years.
Arwin trying to get to his average of nearly a double-double here. Kasama niya si Segsi na Kramer, Cabagnot, Lassiter, and Lutz.
GlobalPort got to start to make a run here. They want to get back in this game.
Tiele looking for Mercado. Linganay has 8 to work with. Kasama nila sina Salvador and Cummings ni hindi nakahawak ng bola. Yung import sa pagkakataon niya.
Substitution, Jay Washington for Hans Thiele.
And now Coach Janelle redeploying his starters as we take a look at this Prestone defensive stop of the game. Brought to you by Prestone Brake Fluid. For superior braking action and safety, Prestone Brake Fluid sigurado nasa mabuti kang kamay.
Number 29, Arwin Santos, his first one on the Blaze Boosters.
Arwin picks up his first personal.
2 shots, Jay
Washington
Washington.
at the line. Jay Washington trying to wake up the other 4 guys on the floor with him. Mintis nga lang. Linganay is there to clean it up.
Big help there coming from Rudy Lingay. Don't expect a guy that small to be getting offensive rebound.
Big pick from Arwin. Cabagnot, nakita si Kramer, natagaan ng bola. Napatama pa nila kay Doug bago lumabas to sa baseline. So here comes Batang Pierre. Pagkakataon nila to get themselves right in the thick of this game. Cummings against Lutz. Pushing foul whistled on Chris.
Pushing foul with 3 Chris Lutz. Substitution, Elijah Lutz on Chris Lutz. Shot clock 14 seconds.
Linganay kontra Cabagnot. Inaantay etong si Mercado na kumilos. Lassiter all over Sol. Takes it to the basket. Foul on Lassiter.
Part of Coach Janelle putting Sol Mercado at that off-guard spot, really allowing Sol to go, okay, you don't have to create anymore for your teammates. Let's try having you create some shots for yourselves, because right now they need some scoring, and he's one of the guys that can, pretty much score very quickly.
Mapapanood na ang Cine Filipino Film Festival simula September 18 hanggang 24. Cine Filipino, kwento ang hari. Split. Galing dito kay Sol, cuts this deficit to 13. Cabagnot kontra Linganay, looking for Kramer, taken away by Salvador. Mercado to Cummings, sidestep move, fouled in the act.
Pushing foul with 44, Doug Kramer.
Kramer whistled for this one.
4 on the Blaze Boosters. 2 free throws, 14 Cummings. Substitution, Junior Fargo for Doug Kramer, Chico Lanenda for Alex Salvador.
Daming nasasayang ng GlobalPort dito. Ultimo free throw, no, Jason?
And when you're down this much and you can see that you don't really have the momentum on your side, you got to get these free throws in if you're GlobalPort.
Is that what? 4 of 7 now in this quarter. Wala sa free throw line. Lanete. Dadaan sa pick ni Fajardo, nakakapit na sa jersey. Itong si Salvador. Elsap kontra Mercado. Nice little shot. That's a on the follow, Arwin gets a board and 2 points. 11 points para dito kay Santos. Linganay, long 2. That's good.
He's been pretty effective ever since pumasok. Ito si Rudy Linganay. He's helped out his team.
Lassiter pulls the trigger. Rattles it out. Linganay for the rebound. Mercado looking to attack the defense habang nakatalikod pa etong si Marcio. Looks like he tweaked something there. Pero ipapagpag lang yan. Eto ni Solomon.
Already in the penalty is Petron. That's very early. 9:23 to go. This may be one of the things that GlobalPort can try to take advantage of.
Jondan trying to carve out space kontra dito kay Fajardo. Picks up the personal.
Two free throws, Jones on the road.
Another miss. That's 3 straight misses. Ganda pala nung tattoo ni Jondan, no? May mga bulaklak. Bulaklak ba yun?
Nakakatakot na tao sa may bulaklak. Pero hindi mo napansin in recent years, nobody messes with Jondan.
Jondan is, you know, he might not be the biggest of big men out there, but yung lakas niya, you know, he carries enough weight out there.
Remember the shot he delivered in the mid-2000s? Red Bull kalaban niya nun, nasa Pure Foods pa siya, di ba? Kaya wala nang nangungulit dyan kay Jondan. Sabi nila, he can walk the walk as well. Fajardo gusto bumawi. This time around, si Jondan naman ang napituan ng foul.
It's just tough para kay Jondan because, you know, strength-wise, he can match up with Junmar Fajardo. Problem is, size-wise, you know, pag umikot si Junmar, he can shoot very easily over him.
Junmar had to work for that catch. Gets it out to Millsap. Elijah attacks. No count on the follow para dito kay Arwin. May foul na, dun pa lang sa tira ni Millsap.
So this game is going to slow down. Agad nakapasok sa penalty yung Petron. GlobalPort, just few seconds after, pasok na sa penalty.
Walang iwanan. Sama-sama lang as we send it over to Erica.
I still want to see the players to their fullest potential. Yan ang sabi ni Coach G. Sa gitna ng 7-game winning streak, may ilalabas pa daw ang Petron. Coach G still sees the team in transition, kaya naman hindi pa daw yan ang best nila. But he's happy for the openness of everyone, accepting their roles with the defined rules. Kaya naman alam niyang they're on the right track. Balik sa inyo.
Yan ang nakakatakot. But yung coach mo mismo, hindi lang room for improvement. Alam niyang malayo pa, marami pang mabibigay ang kanyang mga bata.
And he's seen it all for this team. He's been there 10-year-wise, one of the longer ones. Kasama mo na yung player at coach.
Millsap zigzagging his way to the basket. Junmar on the follow. Ayaw. Jondan loses it to Lassiter. Salvador complaining, inabot daw siya sa mata.
Another fast break, not scored, and luckily for them, they're able to force a turnover.
Balik sa 15 ang abante rito ng Petron.
See Junmar's teammates telling him, taas mo na lang yung kamay mo because instead of drawing the charge, what he did was sinalubong niya Si Markeith Cummings.
Alam mo sa nilalaro ngayon na itong Petron, if they carry on all the way to the final buzzer, lahat ng team actually, unang target mo to make the top 8. Pero kung kakayanin mo, at least top 7, huwag ka lang mag-8 dahil Petron makakatapat mo pagdating ng playoffs, and Petron will be sitting on a twice to beat advantage.
Only team so far this conference that has really put a gap over the other teams.
Santos, Matalas, Millsap gets him another possession. Pardo bothered by the defense of GlobalPort. Foul. Ito yata kita. Oh, Junmar Pardo is whistled for the foul. And with 7:49 remaining in this game, timeout muna tayo. Patuloy ang aksyon dito sa IBC as we remind everybody na mamaya po mapapanood natin yung airing ng PXC 39 on Action TV. Pagkatapos po yan, netong PBA, It's More Fun with Philip. Ano? It's More Fun with Philip. Alas 9 po, mamayang gabi. .73-71 is the score.
Petron is not actually putting GlobalPort away. They're also giving GlobalPort a lot of opportunities.
11 na lang to ha, at binalik pa ni Coach Junel itong si El Granada. He had his first field goal late in that third quarter. Tingnan natin if he can find the magic once again.
Foul-filled fourth quarter.
Ano, ang Petron 9:30 plus. Nag-penalty. 9 minutes plus sumunod naman ang GlobalPort. Ngayon 7:32, free throw shooting na time na naman tayo. Commissioner's row. Uy, akalain mo, si Paras, taga-commissioner's row na ngayon. Ang big time naman nun. Ang ginagawa nun dun? Ba't hindi pinapaalis ni Boss Willie, no? 85-72, si Benji Paras po. Makakasama na naman natin mamaya after this game sa Sports 5 Center. Mercado jumping a pass to Washington. They go to the long ball. Cummings couldn't deliver. Fajardo fouled by Taha on the rebound.
4 free throws.
Pero si Benji Paras pala, no? Pagka naka-coat and tie na ganyan at pinatabi mo sa mga karespe-respeto, pwede. Naging sa commissioner si Benji.
Ano sinasabi mo? Hindi mo nire-respeto dati si Benji?
Hindi, kinakatakutan. Ngayon pala pwedeng ano.
Hindi mo lang, sasabihin ko sa kanya lahat ng mga sinasabi mo.
Narinig, nakita ko walang override eh, kaya pwede tayong panggulo. Uy, magpakwento muna tayo about Junmar dito kay Erica.
Jay Wash sa mga naging mentors daw ni Junmar sa Petron, lalo na pagdating sa depensa. Kaya naman, it's very exciting for him to play against Jay Wash at makita for himself kung tama ba ang mga natutunan. Dinedagpan niya that he's happy because after Gilas, #1 ang Petron sa conference, pero gusto daw niyang maiba ang ending by being the champions this time. Balik sa inyo.
That's him and the rest of Petroniverse. Medyo matagal na inaantay ng Petron faithful na makabalik sa promised land etong kanilang koponan.
Last time Petron did win a championship was actually also in the third conference in the Governor's Cup.
Jay Washington was part of that crew. At ang nag-final sa MVP pa wala na rin sa kanila, si Jonas Villanueva. 4 free throw misses by GlobalPort. Might just haunt them. Oh! By the end of this game, what a move galing dito kay Lassiter. Washington, shake, bake, pasa kay Gary for the 2 points.
Good job on the part of Gary David, moving without the basketball, making himself available But not scored that many today.
That cuts the deficit to 12. Etong GlobalPort has shot 7 of 14 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter alone. Would have been 7 extra points. Down by a dozen right now. Nakakuha na naman sila ng bola dito. Gary on the run. Attacking the lane. Fishing expedition si El Granado doon.
Elijah Millsap, if he's close to a triple-double and also close to a quadruple-double. 8 turnovers, 9 assists, 13 rebounds.
Yun ang masakit na quadruple-double.
Both teams are not really taking care of the basketball very well. 23 turnovers para sa Petron, 21 para naman sa GlobalPort.
Sumabay yung sloppiness sa lamig ng panahon. Ano? Maghapon na kasi umulan eh. Mula nagising ako kanina, umuulan eh. Gary D goes 2 for 2. And that brings GlobalPort to within 10 points. 30-second timeout para kina Coach G. Some cause for concern here, Jason.
You know, and if you're Coach G, what you don't like seeing is your team looks like they're not. This is not the team that was in that 7-game win streak. They look sloppy today at times. Yeah, of course, at times they've also looked like that. There was also highlights for them, but in general, this is not the team. They scored 50 points, over 50 points in the first half, and all of a sudden have really slowed down in terms of scoring, especially here in the fourth quarter.
54 nga ginawa ng first half. Ano ngayon? Ilan niya? 32? 32 pa lang ginagawa the entire second half. As we remind everybody na this coming Wednesday, patuloy ang bakbakan sa pwestuhan. Alaska kontra Barako Bulls sa first game alas 5 ng hapon bago yung salpukang Talk and Text at Rain or Shine.
Talk and Text. Only team that changed an import.
At eto pa nga lang, actually sa Wednesday pa officially.
Kung matutuloy. It's funny because they were actually one of the few teams that actually saw their import before he came here in the third conference.
Second conference pa lang, last few games naglaro na sa kanila. Tony Mitchell, pero they have decided to go a different way as Washington is fouled by Fajardo. A chance for GlobalPort to come to within 8.
And the foul number 22, Junior Fajardo. And 2 free throws, Jay Washington.
Tandaan natin etong Petron, kahit ano mangyari in the next 5:32 of this game, will be entering the playoffs as the top overall seed. Hanapin nila kung sino mag-end up as number 8. Pero with a week and a half before the playoffs actually start, dahil September 22 pa, last day ng eliminations, Coach G cannot be happy with the way they're performing right now.
Especially in the fourth quarter. I think they're pretty solid in the first. Majority of the second they were good, but the fourth quarter has been a totally different story for them.
Habagnot over to Millsap. Petron trying to find that form that gave him this 7-game streak. 6 seconds sa shot clock natitira para sa Blaze Boosters. Kabagnot to Santos. Baseline J is good.
Good job on the part of Alex Cabagnot to put pressure on the defense, make the defense react and help, and find an open teammate at the corner.
Washington for 3. Go. Cummings for the rebound. Cummings puts it up and will through to the line.
Suke si Junmar sa foul dito sa quarter na to. 5 fouls all happening in the fourth quarter.
Timeout muna para sa GlobalPort. Petron trying to protect this 11-point lead. Wala na pong 5 minuto natitira dito sa loob ng Cuneta. Cummings rattles home the first. Mag-margin po ang inyong lingkod. Kasama natin si Jason Webb. At nandiyan dyan din syempre si Ms. Erica Padilla. Rock and roll pa si Padilla. Uy, mintis yung pangalawa. More missed free throws here as Arwin's in trouble. Tied up by Gary. David looking to steal this one from Santos. Arwin though taps it to a space. Mercado beats everybody to the ball, but he turns it over just right away. Kabagnot underneath. Santos sneaks one through. May kasama pang foul.
What a strange sequence in that jump ball. Looks like the players weren't even ready yet for the jump ball. Referee comes in and then ball actually goes to the hands of GlobalPort. They turn it over and again, Arwin Santos you have to watch out for him because on the fast break, nanguna siya, nandun siya kaagad sa babae.
And for more on Arwin, balikan natin si Padilla.
Bago pa man din makilala ang puso sa kasagsagan ng gilas, si Arwind na ang gumamit ng for Petron during their dramatic moments. Ngayon daw, masasabi na nila na ang hinahangad na puso ng Petron ay narating na. Dinagdag pa niya that that heart is a humble heart na bukas pa rin matuto at magsama-sama hanggang mag-champion sila. Balik sa inyo.
Maraming salamat. 4:31 natitira. GlobalPort just looking for that one last run, their last stand probably on this Sunday night.
Yeah. And the thing is, they really haven't helped themselves in terms of free throw shooting in this quarter. That's 2 misses.
Cummings, rebound, put back, wala pa rin.
Triple-double.
Amagot with a reverse, Millsap with a dish. Alex loving it. Sabi niya, teka, that's my line, that's my job to pass that off.
Been waiting for this last assist to get the triple-double. It's Elijah Millsap. Gets it. Kulang na lang yung quadruple-double. Dahil 8 turnovers siya, 2 na lang.
And Coach Janelle has seen enough. 4:21 natitira. GlobalPort looking to wake themselves up as we take a look at that trip dub already put up by Elijah Millsap. Full timeout ba to? 30 muna yata gagamitin ni Coach Janelle dito.
Sige, magpapa-cool na rin ako. Trip dub! Yung ba tawag doon?
Pwede.
Trip dub!
Hindi, nabitin lang ako. As we invite everybody once again na manood mamaya po sa Action TV alas 9 ng gabi ang PXC 39 i-ere. Pagkatapos po yan mamaya, manood muna kayo ng Sports 5 with Aaron Atayde and Benji Paras. Tapos lipat tayo channel sa Action TV. GlobalPort a total of 14 of 26 free throws all night long. And here in the fourth quarter alone, Jason, 11 of 22.
Getting most of those free throws in the fourth quarter. Imagine they actually only had 4 free throws coming into the fourth.
Tandaan natin, binanggit mo kanina to. More than 9.5 minutes pa natitira sa fourth quarter na penalty ang Petron. GlobalPort though could not make them pay. Balik pa ulit dito sa Blaze Boosters ang bola. Magpa-quad-up na. 9 turnovers. Pang ilang turnover yan?
9.
9 na, no? So not all good news para dito kay Elijah. But if you are from the coaching staff or a member of Petronivers,
Nakakatawa yung inupuan ni Coach Janelle. Yan yung mga, yung inupuan niya, yun yung pang substitution eh. Dito siya sa ano.
papasok ba si Coach Janelle? PABL ulit, ah. You're a member of Petronivers. At least ngayong gabi, medyo sloppy yung inyong team dahil non-bearing game naman. Pero it looks like by all indications, you will coast to the victory instead of the next round when you see them back again pagdating ng playoffs.
This might be a team that...
Kabagnot crashing to the floor. Was it Taha with a hard hit or was it the bit? Alex just shakes it off.
Going back to my point, this could be a team that they could face when nagkaroon ng 1 versus 8.
Kabagnot misses on the first. Kabagnot now with 9 points. 94-80. Balik sa 14 ang kalamangan dito ng Petron. They've been coasting. Biggest lead of the game was only 17. Tama naman firepower na itong Petron. Who can ever forget that talk index game kung saan lumamang sila ng hanggang 42.
Yes, sir.
Kabagnot looking to dance with Gary. Pasa niya kay Kramer. Turnover na naman.
A lot of turnovers. I don't have the stat in my hand, but This probably might be the game that Petron has had the most turnovers. 25. You usually don't get to that record if you turn the ball over 25 times.
Millsap with the board. Shooty foul given up by Washington.
Ball number 18, Jay Washington penalty, dances Smith personal.
So Millsap will through to the line for 2 shots. And now, pati Petron nahawa na. Nagbimintis din ng free throw.
Kala nyo kayo lang marunong magbintis ha? Kami rin.
Walang iwanan. Pero with a week and a half to prepare. We can have at least to prepare para sa kanila makakalaban. If we're not mistaken, September 25 ang umpisa ng playoffs dahil 22 Sunday matatapos ang eliminations.
What a wonderful day.
Oo nga. Big day yun ha, September 25. Pati yung magdamag nun. Yun na lang yun.
The next day.
Hanggang sa ano. Malamang malamang nga, doon na po ang simula ng playoffs. If we are not mistaken, stay tuned for more updates.
Played well, Marshall Lassiter. Nice three-point shooting has been key. Getting a big lift from the bench.
98-82 as the 2-minute warning has gone off. Petron Blaze on their way to 8-1. What a journey para sa koponan na to. Even for their head coach, Gia Vanilla, was named just a couple of weeks before the start of this tournament, Jason.
And you know, for Coach G, who came in late, you see the success that he's having, and just looking at the other league as well, the team that he had left, Coach Juno Sauler also having a lot of success. So
number 2. Oh, 1 yung Petron, 2 yung Lasal. 98-83. Petron trying to put on the finishing touches to this impending victory. GlobalPort will slide a bit down the standings though. Ooh! Kabagnot and David getting entangled. Kanina, tandaan natin, sila rin yung nagkabuhol doon nung bumagsak ito si Kabagnot. And as David got hit, he reacted. Tinamaan din ito si Kabagnot.
Technical foul score, ball number 20, Gary David for set motion.
Nataga na nga ng technical si Gary D.
see it right here. Alex goes for the ball, called for the foul.
Alex is going to shoot the technical free throw.
Color developing here between those two. And Alex Cabagnot takes care of the technical free throw. Gary Davido will have two of his own dito naman sa kabila. Dahil foul nga ito si Cabagnot. Washington having some words for Cabagnot. Inawat naman o pinagitnaan sila ni Lassiter. As we take a look at this Rigzona Power Rebound brought to you by Rigzona Men with 50% more long-lasting protection so you can do more.
That's probably one of the guys that very frustrated today. Jay Washington. First time niya makalaban yung former team niya. You know that he wanted to come up with a big performance, but it wasn't today for him.
David gets his own miss. David with a three-point play in reverse. But with a minute and a half remaining here and Petron up only by 13 pero yung body language ng both squads mukhang tapos na ito. Cabagnot with a pull-up. Oh, go. Ayan na naman si David at si Cabagnot, ano? Here we go again. Gary spinning. Gets away this time around. Oh! Eh, kiskisan pa, even after that made layup. A little bit of nasty on this rainy Sunday evening inside the Cuneta. Frustrations, of course, on one end. Cabagno takes care of the first free throw. Player of the game natin, Jason, Marshall Lassiter, 18 and 2, pero yung sunod-sunod na tres niya kanina, no?
And the high field goal shooting, 7 of 11, as well as 4 out of 5 mula sa 3-point range. And you can almost say it was that first quarter when kumawala yung Petron, hindi na rin nakabalik ng husto. Itong GlobalPort came closest at about 4 points, if I'm not
At the
mistaken.
half. Yung late second quarter run nila, no? Gary David hoping against hope here. They're gonna have to do it the harder way now. GlobalPort will have Barangay Ginebra this coming Friday. At yung implications ng ball game na yun, hindi mo matatawaran, Jason. Those are teams battling at the bottom of the standings.
Said, the games of Barangay Ginebra, they're playing teams that they can push down to the elimination, to get eliminated, but so can the teams that they're playing because doon sila ngayon lahat, nandun sila doon sa bottom half eh.
Most of those teams, or all of those teams, have their fates in their own hands. Yun ang importante doon, Jason.
Yeah, right now, you win out, you're good.
And that will do it dito sa Cuneta, 10 seconds away from Petron. Finishing this elimination round on an 8-game win streak. They will go to 8 and 1. Natisod lang nung umpisa, mukhang napaganda pa yung para dito sa Petron because that woke them up, that loss to Meralco, and they have just run the table.
Sometimes you start out on a negative and you work out that negative and use it as a reinforcement, a positive reinforcement to get together as a team, and seemingly para dito sa Petron, that's exactly what's happening for them.
Jay Washington, sinalubong naman siya ng pleasantries ng dati niyang mga kakampi. Over at Petron, final score is 101 to 90. Petron is 8 and 1. So bago po tayo bumalik sa Sports 5 Center, meron po tayo muna magiging espesyal na bisita, and it's none other than the winning coach, Coach G Abanilla. Coach G, number 1 in the playoffs, 8 and 1. Ang tanong ko sa iyo, Coach G, napaganda pa ba na natalo kayo nung simula doon sa Meralco?
Ay, hindi naman siguro, no? But I think, we took it positively, yung talo namin sa Meralco. And siguro, in some ways, nakaganda because we worked harder, we were more focused, and it's good we had this win today.
Coach, how satisfying is it for you dahil eto mga player na to, matagal mo lang nakasama, you've been in the franchise for so long, and to have a team that is right now dominating under your helm?
Well, I'm very happy, and of course, no doubt this is a very strong team, but being a talented team will just win you games. But I think, having that chemistry, having that camaraderie, and being smart on the floor will make you win some more games.
And are those the things, Coach, that turn this team around, finally finding that proper chemistry?
I hope so, I hope so.
Binanggit kanina ni Erica na hindi ka pa naman daw 100% satisfied, Coach G. A week and a half to prepare for the playoffs. What else should we expect from Petron?
Well, as I told Erica, it's still a work in progress because we are in a transition period. And I think we have a lot more things to learn, especially on the defensive side. I think the coaches been doing a good job in helping out and setting the tone for this franchise.
Coach G, ito na ang pagkakataon mo. Magpasalamat, magbumate, at mag-imbita. A week and a half from now, playoffs na ang Petron.
Iniimbitahan ko yung mga Petron Base Booster fans na sana po, supportahan nyo kami. We're doing this para sa inyo, para we'll give out all the best, 100% effort para sa inyo.
Congratulations once again, Coach G, and congratulations
Thank you.
sa Petron. So that'll do it for us inside the Cuneta Astrodome. Pero Sports 5 Center is coming your way. Sa ngalan ni Jason Webb, ni Erica Padilla, director natin si Julius Melo, producer natin si Randy Victoria, at statsman na si Roy Lopez. Magumarjo, nagpapasalamat sa inyong panonood. This has been a Sports 5 production of the PBA on IBC.